or work on like the house or farms. Instead, like children are now expected to achieve higher goals than their parents. For example, like some children have parents who grew up being dirt poor, so now the child has to like go into higher education and achieve the riches so that they can make the complete turnaround for their parents. And this goes back to the point that like suffering would not exist to the extent it does if we return to our primitive past. So like nowadays, there are still children who are born outside of wedlock without legal. There are children who are born outside of wedlock, but they no longer carry any legal consequences. But there's still a threat of consequences within society. For example, women are not punished by law like for birthing children anymore. And like this is due to like free thinking, and free thinking causes people like to react and bring about change within society. And one of the changes that were brought about was like the bastard laws being removed, and so women were able to have children outside of wedlock without any legal consequence by the end of the 18th century. Now, that doesn't mean that it got rid of all suffering for single-parented children, but it does introduce their own kind of suffering. But like you may ask, like what kind? Well, these children might compare their lives to those of children who come from nuclear households, and they may be feeling left out in certain events, such as at school events. There are special events for Mother's and Father's Day, but if they don't have a father, or if their mother chooses not to be in their life, then they may feel left out by that. So the expectations of these children now is to overcome the hardship set upon by not being part of a nuclear family and exemplify that a family unit is not necessary to succeed within society. Now, Kant would say that while things have gotten better because of the luxuries in life, by these luxuries I mean like there's less risk of starving or freezing in the winter. Illnesses are now less deadly. Childbirth is not as dangerous. Women are not condemned for birth out of wedlock, and society has matured into like a more accepting mentality overall. But yet, like a child can still suffer from longing to belong. And overall, like our society and civilization has evolved greatly since it first ensued. And some may say that like society has made great technological and scientific progress. But in the eyes of Freud, as long as civilization still exists, so will suffering. So like suffering will also, and in Kant's eyes, as much as society believes that we have the ability to think freely, we are still being held back by our lack of maturity. Alright, and that's it. Thank you.